bans local manufacturing and use of champagne in mining.
Ghana Health Service to begin mass drug administration for onchocerciasis from Monday, 23rd August 2021.
And Taliban's co-founder arrives in Afghanistan to join talks on establishing new government. Let's start.
Hello, good evening. It's good to have you join us for the news update. My name is Micheline Taka.
My name is Abdul Hayi Mumin.
We are live on GBC News on GTV and on Facebook at Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. You're welcome.
In our very first story, President Akufo-Addo has charged the Bank of Ghana to look into the issue of high interest rates among banks in Ghana and how same should be dealt with to improve on competitiveness of the private sector.
And Akufo-Addo says it is unjustified that the central bank pegs its monetary policy rate at 13.5%, while the commercial banks lend to the private sector and individuals at 21% and above.
The president made his comments at the Jubilee House when he swore in a 13-member newly constituted board of the Bank of Ghana. The board is chaired by the Central Bank Governor, Dr. Ernest Addison.
Unlike other sectors of work, President Akufo-Addo personally inaugurated the newly constituted board of the Bank of Ghana to express his sincere appreciation to the bank for the excellent work to the nation in its transformation agenda over the past 4 years. With varied backgrounds and expertise in banking, finance, economic, corporate governance, and law, among others, this team is to add to the bank's merit and standards. Government is upbeat that the bank will continue to prove to be a sound banker to the government and a safe custodian of the nation's purse, as well as a dependable lender of last resort to the banking sector, while admitting the banking sector crisis was the most unfortunate issue inherited by government. President Akufo-Addo believes the corporate governance system put in place by the central bank to mitigate future bank failures is in good shape.
The recent announcement of the pilot central bank digital currency, the ECD, which I believe will completely transform the architecture of our payment system and deepen financial inclusion to support inclusive and shared growth for our people, is one such example. I've also seen initiatives from the bank to enhance access to credit by small and medium-scale enterprises, the SMEs. I've always held the view that wide access to credit by SMEs can promote shared growth and better income distribution.
After thanking the bank for the recent introduction of the domestic gold purchasing program, which has opened up the imminent completion of the gold refinery, President Akufo-Addo tasked the bank to bridge the gap between its policy and lending rates.
I want to use this occasion to bring into focus a matter of great importance for the rapid growth of our economy. That is to urge the bank to interrogate the issue of high interest rates in Ghana and how the problem should be addressed to enhance the competitiveness of the private sector. It is surely not right that the central bank's monetary policy rate stands at 13.5%, whilst the commercial banks lend to the private sector at rates of 21% and above. This is a gap we have to bridge.
The governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison, assured the president that the issues of high interest rates will be scrutinized.
The task that you have given to us comes to us with a greater sense of responsibility to deliver on the mandate of the bank for the benefit of the Ghanaian economy. As enormous and daunting this task is, we are confident that we will be able to deliver, and we pledge to pursue prudent policies to consolidate the gains that we have made in the last 4 years.
Having taken the oaths of office and secrecy, the new board has part of its duties cut out to help strengthen the nation's banking sector in the midst of the coronavirus pandemic.
The Communications Bureau at the Office of the President has briefed the media ahead of President Akufo-Addo's state's visit to Germany on Sunday. The Director for Communications, Mr. Eugene Ahin, said while in Germany, the President will visit Germany's industrial city and manufacturers of the Pfizer vaccine to engage them on possible procurement for more vaccines for Ghana. The Jubilee House News Conference with the Presidential Press Corps has been instituted to inform, educate and explain all issues on the presidency to the general public. This is the maiden meeting.
From Sunday, the 22nd of August, the President will embark on an official working visit to Germany at the invitation of the German Chancellor Angela Merkel, basically with the aim of deepening the ties of cooperation and the bonds of friendship that exist between the two countries. As part of his itinerary, he's supposed to deliver a speech at the 75th anniversary of the formation of the North Rhine-Westphalia state, which is Germany's most populous state and her #1 industrial region. He will also deliver a speech at the North Rhine-Westphalia Academy of International Politics in Bonn. He's the guest of honor at that particular ceremony. He's also supposed to hold meetings with the manufacturers of the Pfizer vaccine for COVID-19. Basically, the areas of discussion will be towards the establishment of a National Vaccine Institute for Ghana, as well as the procurement of more vaccines, especially the Pfizer vaccine for use in Ghana. He will also address a meeting of the German investment community before participating in the G20 Compact Initiative program, which has been established by the German Chancellor to promote private investment in Ghana and basically in Africa. And he's expected to return to Ghana on Saturday, the 28th of August.
The Ghana Hajj Board says applications from Muslim pilgrims who wish to perform Umrah from abroad will now be received. The board has also indicated the possibility of international pilgrims performing Hajj in 2022 on condition that all pilgrims receive full complement of the COVID-19 vaccine. The chairman of the Hajj Board, Sheikh I.C. Kwe, was speaking at a media briefing in Accra.
It has come to the attention of the Hajj Board that certain individuals are propagating a fallacy about a special dispensation of the COVID-19 vaccine that is being made exclusively available for Ghanaian Muslims and pilgrims. This is not true in any shape or form. The Hajj Board fully commends government's efforts and successes in its acquisition and distribution of these vaccines for the health benefits of all Ghanaians. The Ghana Hajj Board will play its full part in helping to facilitate the national realization of a fully vaccinated Ghana. The Ghana Hajj Board applauds the Saudi government for these proactive measures, which are designed for the well-being of all pilgrims. The Hajj Board, therefore, without any equivocation, fully endorses the new directives for obtaining a visa to perform Hajj and Umrah as communicated by the Saudi government. The well-being of the whole Ghanaian society, and indeed the world, must be our main motivation in our endeavor to participate in Hajj 2022.
The government has directed all local manufacturers to stop producing champagne machines with immediate effect. The directive is part of measures the government is taking to clamp down on illegal mining activities, popularly called Galamsey. The Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. George Mreku Duka, who gave the directive, said any person or group who flout this directive would be arrested and severely dealt with according to the law. The Deputy Minister gave the directive when he inaugurated a 40-member Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners Task Force in Kumasi in the Ashanti region. Samfan motors are floating contraptions used by Galamsey operators to wash the ore during mining, and it contributes to the high pollution of water bodies in the desperate search for gold. While some of the machines are imported, others are produced locally. The mandate of the Security Task Force formed by the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners is to patrol and stop all illegal mining operations within the Ashanti region. A Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Duka, inaugurated the task force at a ceremony in Kumasi. The National Vice President of the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners, Mr. Samson Redu, advised members of the association against interfering in the work of the task force and asked the task force to work within the laws of the country.
If it's air corner, a district, and the zones to the national, you bet my task force on a war, local levels in the see a operation, you bet my woman, TSC, on Bob buying a witch, says beneath my police in my Navy and Maya. Another security for Maya. Now, national task force on the plan, almost about a children buying say, if it's a break on. The
Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Mr. Duka, said as part of efforts to sanitize the mining industry, the government has banned the manufacturing and use of shamfans.
Let me emphasize that fighting the illegalities in the sector is not a single event. It's a process that we're going to be continuing all this while. Coming or ensuing years, we'll continue fighting this canker.
The Ghana Health Service is to begin a mass drug administration for onchocerciasis from Monday 23rd to Friday 3rd September 2021. Close to 5 million people living in 66 endemic districts will receive the Mectizan drug. This mass treatment for onchocerciasis will, otherwise known as river blindness, is done twice a year to reduce the parasitic burden of the disease. A report by Sarah Ofori.
Apart from the Greater Accra, Eastern and Volta regions, the mass drug administration exercise for onchocerciasis is scheduled for the remaining 13 regions. However, of the 137 existing onchocerciasis endemic districts in the country, only 66 will take part this time round, with a target population of 4,740,039. The Ghana Health Service Neglected Tropical Diseases Program is in the process of training healthcare workers and mounted awareness campaigns to sensitize residents in the endemic areas about the need to participate in the 14-day exercise. Onchocerciasis, or river blindness, is a neglected tropical disease caused by a parasite transmitted by the repeated bites of black flies. Most affected communities are often poor and marginalized, and persons infected usually suffer severe skin lesion, low vision, and blindness. About 1,300 people currently live with the disease in Ghana. Interventions deployed over the years include vector control and mobile community treatment. The mass drug administration recommended by the WHO involves the ingestion of a therapeutic dose of an effective neglected tropical disease medicine to a target population, irrespective of their infection status or symptoms.
These medicines have been proven safe for use and have been used for these treatments over the years in Ghana and elsewhere with none or very few discomfort. Besides, all health facilities in the endemic zone have been put on alert to manage any adverse drug reaction event free of charge should that such a case be recorded.
Although dosage can be determined by weight, the dosage for this exercise will be determined by height.
For operational purposes, you can't go around carrying weight skills. It's very difficult. And then it has been found out that it is equally good to use the height of the people to give the medicines. So when you are between 90 and then 119 cm, we'll give you one tablet. Between 120 and then 140 cm, we'll give you 2 tablets. Between 141 and then 158 cm, we'll give you 3. And then above 158, we'll give you 4 tablets.
Community drug distributors are required to visit every household, register and give out the Mectizan or ivermectin tablets to those eligible. Through the intervention of Mectizan donation program and other pharmaceutical companies, these medicines have been distributed to the endemic areas at no cost to government. The exercise will run from Monday 23rd August to Friday 3rd September 2021. It is a teamwork with partners such as the WHO, USAID, Act to End NTDs, West and FHI 360. Sarah for GBC News, Accra.
The National Insurance Commission has launched an annual blood donation exercise in Accra. The exercise is expected to end on October 14, 2021, aims to stock blood banks across the country to save lives of especially pregnant women and accident victims.
Of the National Blood Service is to ensure effective and coordinated national approach to the provision of safe, adequate and efficacious blood and blood-related products, providing timely, accessible and affordable blood to all patients, both public and private healthcare institutions in the country, is the Blood Service's priority. The Blood Service introduced an appointment system for voluntary blood donors to donate at designated blood collection sites with enhanced safety procedures. Most individuals and institutions have heeded to this call. The latest is the National Insurance Commission, where about 150 chief executives of all insurance companies and brokers in the country participated in the exercise. The acting head, Southern Zonal Blood Center, National Blood Service, Madame Delis Jonte, said the blood bank is running out of stock due to a reduction in voluntary donations.
Blood is a drug, and so whenever a patient arrives in the hospital, it's urgent. If he needs it, it should be there. If it is not there, then you know what will happen. So just like paracetamol must be on the shelf, blood must be on the shelf before somebody comes in with a road traffic accident or bleeding from a pregnancy-induced cause. The situation for Ghana has always been challenging. A lot of people want to wait for their family members to be in need of blood before they donate. So we always run out of blood.
The Commissioner of Insurance, Dr. Justice Ofori, said there are instances where accident victims die due to lack of blood from the bank. The insurance industry therefore deems it fit to support the National Blood Service by donating blood.
They really needed some blood because they were running out of stock. Honestly, they've already run out of stock. And we also realized that, well, we are blessed, we are healthy, God has given us blood. What can we do? Since blood is free, but we cannot manufacture blood, it's a responsibility on us to also help those who might be unfortunate. So the NIC decided to take it up and lead a campaign with the industry.
Under the hashtag, Donate Blood, Save a Life. If you do it for someone, you do it for yourself. Staff from the National Insurance Commission, Chartered Insurance Institute of Ghana, Ghana Insurance Association, Insurance Brokers of Ghana, and the Ghana Insurance College participated in the exercise.
The United Nations boss, Mr. Antonio Guterres, says the next pandemic to face the world is climate change, which needs to be dealt with now. He says to properly address this crisis, the world must urgently reduce carbon pollution and prepare for the consequences of global warming, which the world is already experiencing.
Coordinator in Ghana, Mr. Charles Abani, disclosed this at Bonsu Eco site in the eastern region on the sidelines of a courtesy hall on the Ochihene at his palace. Mr. Abani said the UN will support the Ochihene's project with 3 million more seedlings to help deal with climate change issues.
This will help to begin to restore the ecosystem locally here to enable other activities to take place. The Ochihene is also very keen to look at raising sources of alternative livelihoods that take people back into agriculture as part of government's own programs, that look for alternative ecotourism type jobs.
Other UN agencies such as UNEP, UNDP, WHO and others will take care of the areas in health, education and nutrition. The special advisor to the president on the SDGs, Dr. Eugene Usu, said the president and the SDGs unit are interested in protecting the environment.
Specifically on environment, which is SDG goal 13, you know, which is environment and climate change. It is very clear that climate change has become a present and clear danger, certainly for our world. It is an existential threat which we need to deal with certainly frontally.
Mr. Kofi Jima is the Executive Secretary of the Ochiman Environment Foundation. He shares some more details of the foundation's plans.
Through this project, we are realizing a few components that will help Ochiman in the areas of development. We are going to establish 30 tree nurseries to generate seedlings for tree planting in Ochiman.
The foundation is welcoming donors who wish to support the project to achieve its goal. The Green Ghana project is making progress in the central region. Officials of the Forestry Commission were happy when they inspected tree planting sites in some educational institutions in the region. President Akufo-Addo launched the tree planting project last year to help recover the vegetation cover, especially in certain areas where galamsey activities have destroyed the land.
Officials of the Forestry Commission first paid a courtesy call on the regional minister, Madame Justina Marigold Assam. The minister assured them of her support and disclosed that the traditional authorities were ready to release lands for more seedlings to be planted. The team, led by the chief executive of the Forestry Commission, Mr. John Alote, also visited the Commander Training College site, Fawaz Islamic School and the University of Cape Coast project sites. The Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Johnson Nyakom-Buampong, who took the team round, noted that the university had engaged some members of staff and students to nurture more seedlings. He said more trees will be planted to help boost the region's tourism potential. The team also met the chiefs at Asin Kushia, where about 3,000 trees have already been planted. They called for more assistance from the Forestry Commission. The traditional authorities pledged to provide more lands towards next year's project.
20,000 now welcome. You bet me a German you said the
chief executive of the Forestry Commission, Mr. John Alote, told GBC News that from what they have seen and heard, there was much commitment to the project and that more will be achieved next year.
Myself and my director is going around the country. Then we will be making sure that the trees are nurtured. You know, it will be a waste if you plant all those trees and then you don't follow up to make sure those trees develop. Unfortunately, we are not getting a lot of rains, but still the plants that we are, seeing today, they are doing well, and we hope that the rains will come to support the growth.
Officials of the Regional Coordinating Council and other institutions were happy about the project and the progress that it was making.
With the sorry state of the Sakumo Ramsar site, it has become necessary to put in place an 8-member committee to establish the challenges confronting the place, to which it is losing its ecological functions. Chaired by Deputy Minister for Lands and Natural Resources in charge of forestry, Mr. Benito Owusu-Bio, the committee has 4 weeks to submit its report for urgent action. Clara Mlano reports.
Covering a land size of about 1,364 hectares, the Sakumo Ramsar site is one of the 6 designated wetlands in Ghana, serving as a habitat for fish, migratory birds and water creatures. It is also a fertile spot for vegetable cultivation by farmers. Gradually, it seems its significance to man and the environment has reduced, and the Sakumo Ramsar site is rather a preferable location for refuse, estate development, cattle grazing and other private businesses. This is not the first time a committee is being tasked to look into the disturbance of the biodiversity of the wetland. In 2017, the Tema Metropolitan Assembly commissioned a 12-member committee to undertake a similar exercise, yet little was achieved.
The ministry finds it very, very important that a committee is set up that will come out with recommendations as to the way forward. They are to identify detailed reasons why the Sakumo Ramsar site is degraded and losing its ecological functions. 2. Establish the extent of degradation and encroachment on the area. 3. Identify the major groups and individuals involved in encroaching on the area and who is responsible for allocating land for sale. 4. Make recommendations for actions to reduce further encroachment of the area in the short to medium term, and to make recommendations for long-term interventions in restoring the ecological integrity and functions of the Ramsar site.
The Wildlife Division of the Forestry Commission oversees the 6 wetlands in the country. Lack of enforcement of the law is one barrier to the conservation of the Ramsar site. If Ghana hopes to halt all degradation, pollution and destruction of its ecological systems to slow down the effects from climate change, then all machinery must be deployed to succeed and revive this wetland of international importance. For GBC News, Clara Mlano reporting.
To help resolve all challenges surrounding the acquisition of lands and ensure proper land administration, the English Yamanfro Customary Land Secretariat has been set up in the Ga South municipality of the Greater Accra region. Custodians of lands are employing technology for proper land management in line with the New Lands Act 2020, which introduces innovative systems in the country's land administration regime.
Land litigation, multiple sales of land and lack of effective records keeping of land sold are major challenges facing land administration, which have sometimes led to loss of lives and property in the country. To streamline these, the government introduced reforms to harmonize existing land laws, thereby giving birth to the New Land Act 2020. Act 1036 significantly introduces new provisions relating to customary land management, compulsory acquisition and vesting of lands, electronic conveyancing and spousal land rights. Also, there are jail terms for various offences related to land, and this is all geared towards sanitizing the land sector and thrive on technology.
The double sales of land was there, I think, for so many years, and not only among them, it's everywhere. It has now come to our decision that we, for the opportunity that we have for establishing the CLS, we believe at least we will do our best educating our fellow colleagues, the sub-chiefs, or let me say the chiefs, or those people who have been engaging in those arts, so that they also, I think, cooperate with us, and then we see how best we can solve it.
The English among from lands will now be administered through digital means, ensure sanity and security of land in the area.
We are not just inaugurating a customary land secretariat, CLS, but we are forever finding a final solution that will bring peace to the good people of English among from. We all must really behind the NACLS and assist the Secretariat with the needed support of effective and efficient service.
The acting administrator and director of research at the Office of the Administrator of Stool Lands, Mr. Clarence Bosompem Coleman, said the strategy will ensure proper transactions of lands in the traditional area. The English Amman From area covers a land size of over 40 square miles, which comprises 48 villages, including Mataheko or Kalabule, Tokose, Manhiam, Afadi, Okomang, and Akwasa, or broadcasting, among others.
A driver of a ride-hailing application service in Accra, Mr. Judah Yaovi Somabe, has been hailed by the management of the television newsroom of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation for his honesty in the line of duty. He returned valuables belonging to a staff of the newsroom estimated at 15,000 Ghana cedis, which were left accidentally in his car. Sarah Ofori has the details.
It was a busy day, having covered 3 beats, one after the other, and for me, getting to the office on time to churn out the news was my ultimate goal. Mr. Judah Yaovi Somabe was the rider assigned to me. However, upon arrival at GBC, he had a tummy upset and badly needed to use the washroom. In the rushed moment to assist him attend to nature's call, I left behind some working tools valued at 15,000 cedis at the backseat. Before I knew it, he was done and gone. While efforts to notify the driver proved futile, all I did was to pray and hope he returns the items. It was a surprise when Mr. Somabe came by to return the items the following day, but a better surprise awaited him for his kind gesture.
You are talking about you positively, as opposed to talking about you negatively. You are a blessing to others.
If me, as a Uber driver, I found anybody items in my vehicle, I quickly return it to the owner, because keeping someone's item in my possession won't let my conscience to be. I can't sleep. I won't be happy. Even throughout yesterday night, although you couldn't get in touch with me through my number, me myself, my conscience, I only sleep deeply.
Apparently, he is a member of the Dansoman Exhibition Assemblies of God and knows too well his duties as a Christian.
You have decided to return the items to me, so I have this envelope to thank you.
Jesus said, if you are faithful in these little things, he will bless you. So may God bless you and keep you. And I believe that if all of us stick to some of these principles, it will go a long way to make our country better.
Mr. Judah Yaovi Somabe is said to be a true embodiment of honesty, something that seems to be lacking in society these days. Sarah Ofori, GBC News, Accra.